Hello dear students, my name is Udis Zach and I am lecturer from Turiba University, and today I will try to make introduction in security. So, why we talk about security and why this is very important for people? According to a Maslow hierarchy of needs, safety and security are on the second stage of needs, after physical needs, after getting food, after water. So, and when human get all the physical needs, so they are starting to think about safety, and safety includes also security, secure environment, secure emotions, health and everything. So basically security and safety are very important for all people. So what we understand what is security? If we give a small definition of security, I would prefer to say security is controlled environment. So basically, when you control things, what's happening around, when you control, I don't know, some objective, some place or organization, things and procedures. So basically, when it's controlled, it means it could be more secure than it's not controlled. So if environment is not controlled, and it's less safe than it is controlled. So that's why I give the definition that security is controlled environment. If we talk about security segments, it's a lot of security segments which we can align. So we start with physical security. It means that physically somebody is taking responsibility of security officer or a security guard, which is on the place, in, I don't know, on premises, somewhere which is physically doing the job to make environment more secure. So to help security officer, security guard doing environment more safely, it's also technical security. Technical security, it means that using different technical equipments, devices, you make all the environment also secure. So it eliminates this pupil mistakes. So that this is also important part of security nowadays in the technical security. If we talk about another segments which are in security, now it's very important and very crucial, cybersecurity. It's how it's built up, all the systems are set up, and how is all local things organized with this safety measures and security as itself. Also, one of the segments are analysis of security risks. It's also important, and we will talk later on about the risk management also. One of the most important things in organizations are prevention of loss. It means when you are working with possible risks, possible things which is related to possible losses for your company, for your organization, starting with thieves who's coming outside, and basically continue with some incorrect written-offs or something which make organization losses. So this is very important for every organization. One more segment which is very crucial for security is action in crisis and emergency situations. So when some incidents started, I don't know, fire or something, some attacks. So it's very crucial to know how to deal with that and how to make it less painful for organization. And also through all these segments, we always in security think about employees, about people who are inside our organization, inside our building, customers, partners and employees. So basically this is also very important, looking through all the segments with this thought about how safe it's for people, for employees, for visitors. So this is very important. If we talk about security specialist, so people have different opinions how it should look. Somebody thinking that it looks like in the first picture you can see, but this is not true. So security guard is an important part of organization and an important part of all security industry. So also somebody would like to see 2 meters, 120 kilogram power lifter who is securing object, but it's also not the best choice in all times. So basically nowadays most important for security specialist, for security guard, is to work with his brains, to understand the things, to see risks, to understand what is needed, and to have a chance or understand how to work with a different equipment, different systems, know how they are working, know how to use right way. So this is most important in nowadays for security specialists. And if we look on security and how we can make a better environment, safely environment, and provide best security, we need to answer 4 questions. So the first question is what needs to be protected. So basically what we are protecting. Is this some house? Is this some human? Is this some technique or car or something? So need to define what is this thing, what is that what we need to protect. When we answer the question what needs to be protected, we need to understand the risks. Basically, so what should be protected from? Which are these risks which could affect or protection or this object what we are protecting. So the second question is what should be protected from. Then another question is where do you need to protect. So maybe it's not always you need protect, I don't know, all territory. Maybe it's part of a territory for an object, for premise. So you need to understand, what is this scope, or what is the place itself. So where do you need protected? And the last question, what do you need to protect? When do you need protect? When do you need protect? This is all time. Maybe it's some event only. Maybe some hours before working day. Or so basically you need a clear schedule of a time. When do you need to protect what you want to protect? So answering these questions, 4 questions, you will get the best possible result or understanding about security, how you need to build, set up it. So this is very crucial questions for security. If we talk in security, usually in the life is that security budget, as you see in the picture, it's usually not the biggest one. Usually companies, business are not thinking about security in the main thoughts. So, but after some incidents, the security budget usually become bigger, increases in many times. So this is very important to understand that security don't make money. Of course, business should run and need to invest in things to run a business and develop products and keep growing. But you cannot forget about security and about security budget. You also need to invest in that and make it planned way. So not only after incidents, but you need to pay a pretty big attention in security to don't face with these incidents when maybe the company will start struggle after that. So that's why you need to plan budgets need to plan budgets. Yeah. So, Okay, and if we going further, then the biggest mistakes, according to my experience in real life, so one of the mistakes are that security guards or security companies or even the companies where are the security working, so not paying pretty good or pretty big salaries for security guards, so they're working different people which are not interested in work and maybe just have a second or third just like a job. So there is a good say that if you pay peanuts you get monkeys, so that means that you need to pay normal wages for security officers to get a result, because if you're not paying normal wages, then you will receive some kind of guys who just sitting there and don't doing their work. So that's why don't forget to pay for security officers good salaries. They be interested in the process, they be interested in work, so this is very important and crucial for security. Also a lot of places where I talk with security officers, security managers, and asking different kind of questions about security, the one mistake is that security manager don't know why some things is working like they are working. So they usually say, I came, it was already there, it was already working like this, and they don't have explanation why, for example, this camera or something is staying here and what is the purpose of it. So why it is putting here, not, I don't know, 5 meters away, why procedure is that, or why procedure is this, so they don't know why the things is happening, and this is just they came and it was like that. So in a lot of organization and a lot of companies, security is additional responsibility for someone. And this also is not the right one thing, because to understand security issues, risks, and possibilities and things how it's going in security, it's very important that there could be a dedicated person only for security. And also when it's the dedicated person for security, it's lowers the risks that there could be some interest conflicts or some I don't know, bad things happening. So but security are directly reporting to owner or top manager. So that's why it's very important to have an additional person which is responsible for security question. People are thinking that in security nothing personal, just a business, but it was some I don't know, period ago that security only make this function as a security officer, just kick somebody out or let somebody in. So nowadays security is as a service. You need to be very polite, you need to be very kind to give a best service to customers who are coming, employees who are working, to make this environment friendly and very positive. But when it's needed, to make some strict decisions, make some strict actions, so you're doing that. So this why it's not that only business, it should be as a working style, it should be as a lifestyle. So security are always to think about risks and to think about how you can help organization to eliminate the risks. Sometimes security work or job is boring. This is also a big treat for security, because there are a lot of routine works. You need to check, you need to go, you need to do that or that. It's day after day, but it's very important. to make somehow this work more interesting for employees and control them that they are doing this routine works. Also in security there is this limitation of human possibility, also the human effect of the work, so sometimes it's better to choose some technical solutions, some equipment put on to make some I don't know, access points with electronic cards or something to avoid the human effect on that. And then you will receive the maximum clear information on the doors will open if you only have this I don't know, key or access card, but not there will be eliminated this human possibility to let in some friend or somebody. And also the big problem or big threat nowadays, it's lack of knowledge for security guards, security officers, and even in security management. So then I can show you some pictures, so where you can see some different mistakes in security when you think you are secure or you are making good job or you are hiring good security. For example, in this picture, yes, what I mentioned already before, that if you pay nuts, you get monkeys, and so the people are not motivating and they are trying to think how they can somehow go around the system or don't do something what they need to do. Also, when you're not doing fully or good investments on fully your job, there also can be ways around. Even if you put fancy fence in the front of your property, yeah, if you don't go around and put all fence around, you can face this kind of situations as you see in the picture. So yeah, and to understand what is the security, what is nowadays technical solutions, what is in trend. So you need to be focused on security topics, to not facing like this kind of situation that somebody say that this is a surveillance camera and this is very good, but you don't know even how it looks, and you just pay money or you are just signing the bills and that's it. And of course, to understand all the things what's happening, so it's very important to provide a good, clear procedures which includes the risk analysis, where you don't like make some from small things you make some big threats for security. If security officer is not on a place, you just leave some note that, hey, I went away and I will be after 10 minutes. So of course it's understandable that nobody will be there after in 10-minute period. So yeah, and so all the solutions or technical solutions depends on the situation you need to use. It's also need to be provided with procedures how to use it correctly. Don't face with a situation like this when you put some access control system, and but don't forgetting the code. You just write the code in the front of the system. Yeah, so this is no need. And of course, all the works which is done, all the investments, which is important to do, it should be with some reasonable things. So if you're doing something, it should be some reason why are you doing. So yeah, not just do because you need to spend some money from the budget. So yeah, this is the main problems which are facing security and how to deal with that. So basically, you need to pay more attention to education and more attention to security risk management, so itself, to understand which are the risks, which are things could happen and how to prevent them. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.